All right, everybody. Looks like we are live, and that means it's time to answer your question of any kind. All right. So, there's no reason that we should hold off any longer. Why don't we get down to it? Why don't I just get this title screen off? Whoops. I hit the wrong button. You guys can't see what just happened, but the computer almost shut everything down. Luckily, I have unshut things down, and I'll be right back. Just 1 second. I'm going to get this started as soon as I change the lighting and make it nicer. Great. I mean, it's not crazy nice, but it's nice enough. And here we go. Hey, everybody. Here we are. You probably can't even tell that I changed the lighting to nicer, but trust me, it was nicer. I instead of using the overhead lamp, I am using a lamp, an LED panel that is bouncing light back at me to give us some more even light, even though, you know, I had a rough time sleeping last night, so just deal with my sleep face, everybody. That's what it is. I'm a sleep face. Very quickly before I get started on answering the question, how do I write jokes? I just want to respond to this comment, which is from Jason Cantor, who is a good friend of mine whom I never see. Where do we send questions for the next episode? Just on any social media, just ask me and I will add it to this episode. In fact, that's how I got the current question, which is, how do I write jokes? All right, I'm going to tell you how I write jokes. Although I got to be honest, I'm not going to tell you how I write every joke because that would take forever. But I will tell you how I write jokes on social media, okay? Because I do write jokes on social media, and I often have to churn them out quickly because they are fleeting. So sometimes you don't want to spend a huge amount of time writing jokes on social media. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the jokes on my Twitter, and then after I go through jokes on my Twitter, I'm then going to write a joke with you using one of the ways that I used to write jokes. And I'll show you how I write Twitter jokes in the morning. Because like usually in the morning or in the evening, I'll write like 3 to 5 Twitter jokes in like 15, 20 minutes. So that they can go out the next day. And then actually I've started using Adobe Spark to make the jokes look prettier. All right, so why don't we go to my Twitter really quick, okay? And then we'll talk about how I write Twitter jokes. Here, let's roll to my Twitter, guys. Come with me down the road to my Twitter. Woo! Okay, we did it. We made it. Okay, so here's my Twitter. All right, how do I write jokes? This is not a joke. That is a promotion for this series that I directed that you can find called The Great Fantasy Debate. It is on Facebook Watch right now. Go check it out if you want to check out some comedy joke time. All right, and this is, are you as good as pull as I? Oh, this is actually a cartoon that I just posted. So I guess cartoons are a different style of writing jokes. This is just about my feelings as a pool player when I started to play pool. And then even though I shouldn't care if a man or a woman is beating me, I did. So when I was learning to play pool and a woman would come by and just like wipe the table with me, this is the way I felt inside. I thought that every time she sunk a ball, I was less of a man. And in a way, knocking your balls off the table does kind of make you less of a man. This is not actually a joke. This is just a documentary piece. Apparently, somebody named Victor Varnado died a couple of years ago, and then somebody else saw that a Victor Varnado died, but thought it was me, and then made a janky ass t-shirt. Hollywood isn't the same without Victor Varnado. See, the other Victor Varnado wasn't an actor, so I know this is about me, but I'm not like, Hollywood's fine. Okay, let me do what I said I was actually going to do. I'm going to show you how I write jokes. One way I write jokes on Twitter is I just respond to people and I make jokes about whatever they wrote a joke about. Okay, so here is something from Eliza Skinner where she said, I just said masks are mandatory in LA now to a couple of guys sauntering down my street, maskless. One said, yeah, I have one, and took it out of his pocket proudly. And then, so basically she's just like saying that this guy's made a bunch of terrible decisions, and I wrote, cut to all of his illegitimate kids. One thing that I do when I write jokes is just take things out of context and then write a joke about that. Okay, these are my jokes though. Okay, so alright, so here's a joke I wrote using Adobe Spark. If you don't like what I like the way I like it, then I bid you good day. And this one is basically, well, one person retweeted it. I don't have that many followers on Twitter, so I don't have a huge activity on my Twitter. But this is something that I do all the time, and now that I mention it, you're going to see it all the time in my just jokes in general online. And that is, I'll just state something that people say in a shielded way, in an unshielded way. A shielded and an unshielded comment are like this. If I said to you, most people are thieves, that's an unshielded compliment. A shielded a shielded comment that gives you the same information rather than most people are thieves is saying, most people, if unattended, will take something small like a paperclip or a pen if nobody sees it. Most people will do that. But that is an unshielded compliment is just breaking it down to what it really is. Most people are thieves. And so this one is an unshielded compliment. If you don't like what I like the way I like it, then I bid you good day. I guess it's a little bit shielded because actually it should be, if you don't like what I like the way I like when I like it, then fuck you. But I don't normally put swearing out unless it's absolutely necessary on social media. The shielded compliment that this mimics is usually like that statement, like when somebody's like, hey, did you see X movie? Oh, you didn't like it? What? You didn't like it? This is what that is making fun of. So basically, I will take a shielded compliment and make it an unshielded compliment. If you don't like what I like the way I like, then I bid you good day. All right, let me show you another one, which may hopefully show a different way that I write things. This is a very sad cartoon that I made. This one's puns. I do puns online all the time. And this is actually a combination of two things I do. I love to do puns, and I also like to take inspirational thoughts and then ruin them, which is something that I like to do over and over again. So from this one is like, a good friend is Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire. If you ever saw the movie Precious, which is based on the novel Push by Sapphire. The funny thing is, when I did this, especially on Facebook, a lot of people were liking this and sharing this without having read the second line at the bottom, which is hilarious to me, and I love it. Anyway, let's see, another one. Yeah, but so one thing I like to do is puns. Another thing I like to do is of course, derail an inspirational thought. This is another example of an unshielded comment. because basically when I started putting blocks of large letters on blocks of color, it looked artistic, and I got some compliments that people are like, "Oh, it's so well designed," but it's not really. It's not really that well designed. It's just using. I mean, I guess it is well designed because someone else made the software which helps you design it, but it's not crazy well designed. So what I'm going to do right now, and this is an unshielded compliment, which is basically just making fun of the format. So here's what I do. Like if I have to write, if I don't have time to like write a bunch of like original stuff and think about stuff, I think my favorite way to write is to like listen to a podcast or a broadcast or something like that, and then as I'm listening to stuff, it'll give me ideas. Like it'll talk about horses, and I'll be like, oh, let me write a joke about a horse. Like that's how I usually churn out stuff, like a bunch of writing. If I have to churn out a bunch of writing, I listen to something else, and then like nouns or ideas that they bring up and whatever I'm listening to, I just write jokes about that and like really focus. Because when I have like an open I guess canvas, a blank canvas to write anything I want, it's hard to decide what to write. So I purposely use things that give me constraint. So like I'll listen to something and then I'll focus on that. So here's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna write one joke, or maybe we'll write two, and I'm also gonna show you how I make it on these large blocks of color. It's really simple. First of all, why don't we start by finding an inspirational saying? It's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so let's find an inspirational saying. Come on, Google, do your thing. Here we go. Inspirational saying. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, there's so many. Look at this. There's so much inspiration on the internet. 50 short inspirational quotes we love. Great. The perfect thing for me to destroy. 100 quotes for any question. Oh, sorry. So there's 50 inspirational quotes we love. So this is like, oh my god, this it has the image up here and the end here, and so the actual article is just like in here. Oh no, this is a slideshow. Oh, I hate slideshows. But anyway, let's go. Okay. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. Great. So this is a great inspirational saying that I can take apart. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Adobe Spark, okay, and then I'll just take an old inspirational saying that I did, and we're going to edit it. Okay, got it. So this old inspirational saying is that don't be afraid to ask for help. It's an excellent way to lure in the unsuspecting. And then I put a little face there, like an evil face, because, why not? Okay, so let's take this inspirational saying and ruin it. All right, here we go. Okay, so act. What was it? Act as if what you do makes a difference. Act. Let me look again. Let me just look again. Act as if what you do makes a difference. Great. Got it. Okay. Act as if what you do makes a difference. Okay, so whoops, crap. Sorry. Did I just spell difference wrong again? I'm just terrible at spelling the word difference. No, okay. Sometimes I look at words and I'm like, what is wrong with this? Okay. I triple check, because even though I look at something and I think it's spelled right, then I'm like, did I spell it right? And then I just check again and again. I just have to see it in the dictionary before I believe in myself. Okay, so act as if what you do makes a difference. Now there's like a bunch of different versions that we could do for like a quick joke. ladies and gentlemen, Julie Cross says hi. Hi, Julie. I'm teaching people how to write jokes on the internet. Quick jokes. Okay, so and if you haven't been here earlier, one of the things I said is what I will do is I'll take an inspirational phrase and then I will ruin it, and that's just an easy way to write a joke very quickly because sometimes you have to churn out things for the social media. So act as if what you do makes a difference. So in the original quote, it says it does, right? Act as if you do what makes a difference. It does. The easiest joke would be to do would be like, act as if what you do makes a difference, even though it doesn't. So that would be a great way to change the phrase. Or I could say, act as if what you do makes a difference, and I will act as if what I do makes and then a cake, I guess. No, that's not. Act as if what you do. Act as if what you do makes a difference. Okay, so I'm gonna change it to act as what you do makes a difference. It's okay. We all know the truth. Okay. So that is a phrase. The reason I like this better than act as if what you do makes a difference, it doesn't, is because it's kind of like those tales of morality that you used to read, where like there would be an open ending on a story, and then how you thought the story ended actually told more about you, because this is an open moral ending. So like act as if what you do makes a difference. It's okay. We all know the truth. Leaves it open to you to be like, oh, because most people are look at this and be like, that's insulting, but it's up to you to decide what the truth is. And so it's really about you. Okay, so now that I wrote this, because I'm using the software, what I'm just going to do is change the color around. I do have a color scheme which is these blues up here. I often veer from it. So why don't we do something that's like kind of bright and sunny? We'll make it a yellow. Boom. Take that. We'll make this actually, I kind of like the green letters, but this guy's got to go. He's gonna change into a heart. Okay, let's make this a heart. Boom. We're making it a heart. Here's a heart. Okay, what kind of heart do we want? There's a lot of choices. You know what? I'm gonna take this one here. There we go. Okay, so, and then on the bottom, let's get a good, so let's move this up a little bit. Okay. I feel like the heart is kind of low. It's so thick compared to everything else, so I'm just going to make this bigger. There we go, and move this over. Okay, heart. And then this will change this color. Okay, great. So here we go. That's a social media post. When I'm not doing it on video, it takes usually like half the time. But now you know the basics of how I write a joke. And this is probably going to appear on my social media tomorrow because I'm not throwing this away. Make enough of these, and it ends up being likes and retweets. Am I right, everybody? All right, so let's. Before we wrap up, because we're about to wrap it up, let's take a look and see if anybody has any things in the comments that we should be paying attention to. All right, so let's look in the comments. First of all, I'm listening as I'm writing huge, long, complicated jokes. Got it. I also write huge, long, complicated jokes sometimes, but when I'm writing for social media, I usually use tricks like if I I mean, I also write like original bits for social media, but if I just want to get stuff out and make sure that there's stuff on social media that day, I do those things. And once again, I use puns. I will use unshielded comments. I'll say things that are true, but say them in an unshielded way so they sound as bad as possible. And I will take things out of context, and I will ruin inspirational thoughts. All right. Jennifer Glick says, hilarious. Well, thanks. Thanks, Jennifer. Should put a little laugh reaction up there. I mean, I thank you for your comment, but this is the internet. Come on. I need to see an emoji. If there's no emoji, how do I even know you're emojiing? How much do I love cats? I love my cat, but not all cats. I mean, I do like cats, but you know, it's cat by cat because cats have personalities. Let's be honest, most of them are assholes. So I love great cats. I love wonderful cats. If their cat's a jerk, I do not love that cat. Got a picture from my dad today. He's finally wearing a mask, so that's a good thing. My dad and I have conversations, but here you can see my dad in his cowboy hat and mask, right? He does look like a straight up bank robber. That's my pops. That's my pops. He likes the ladies. I just made my wife laugh. And that makes me laugh as well. Interesting. I guess I don't really perform on social media. Thanks. You know what? That was unnecessary, Julie. I'm old. I use words. Yeah, I know what you mean, Jennifer. I am also old, and I use words. For social media, shorter is better, right? Yeah, that's what emojis are for. If you put an emoji up, it says a whole volume of things without having to actually use words. So that's what emojis are for. You guys, could you guys still hear me, or did I disappear completely? I don't know what. I pressed the back button on my mouse, and you know what? I think this is time for this episode to end. Because if I can't control my computer, I mean, who am I really? Thanks a lot. I hope that everybody is like having a wonderful day in your own respective quarantines. You know, do something good for yourself. Maybe go outside if you feel like it. I'm gonna go outside today. It's gonna start as a garbage trip, and it'll end with me running through the streets in a bathrobe. That's how you do it in New York City pandemic. We are with you. Thank you. I am also with you. We're all together. We are actually all together in this. The whole world is going through the same thing. We're literally all together in this thing. So people who are just thinking of themselves right now, get it together. Would you mind? All right, I'm done. All right, thanks everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy. Remember, if you want me to answer your question, maybe it can be the subject of an episode, like the person who asked, how do I write jokes, which is what I did this episode about. Then just ask a question on any social media, and I might pick your question as the thing. Oh, would you like to see how bad my hair is right now? Let's check it out. There you go, everybody. It's getting crazy. I look like a mad scientist. Morty! Oh, it's Marty in Back to the Future. Marty, we gotta go back to the future! Thanks, everybody. I'm gonna leave you alone now. I'm sorry to go into a sketch at the end. That was my fault. But what are you gonna do?